today. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, Lolo, for having me on your show.
You share with us some of the things that you witnessed, that your mom went through when you guys went to bury your father, and how that has ignited a spark in you to continue to speak out on some of the injustice that widows in Africa go through.
My father passed away November last year, and it was quite sudden. My mother had to travel to our village in the southern part of Nigeria. And in going home, my father wasn't in the same vicinity with my mom, so she didn't have to accompany the cops. But getting to the village ahead of the cops, my mother was thoroughly humiliated. The women started going round the village calling other women to come and sit in judgment over my mother. So she wasn't let into my grandfather's compound, of the family compound where they hoped my father would be buried, but was sent to the village square for a court meeting, for the court to hold session over her. I felt that my mother was living the life in the city and didn't look after their needs. So they just threw different kinds of accusations at her just to humiliate her and make her really feel worthless and make her feel that she didn't belong. She wasn't a part of the family or part of the village, and it all was because they had the chance now. For them, it was their one chance at upon the death of her husband, that they could ridicule her and make her feel they were entitled to certain things. So definitely, my mother was fined. She was fined money for different. They came up with really, literally different types of reasons to fine her, and they also rejected my father's body from being buried. So he ended up being buried at night instead of during the day as was expected. They refused him the body going to church to have the last rites paid, respects paid in church. So the whole it was. I mean, just speaking about it brings tears to my eyes, because for my mother it was the end of a phase of her life. She was looking forward to getting old with him, or older with him. And so for her, the pain was so deep. And it was so deep that she wanted more she was okay with more pain being inflicted upon her, which is something that it's a psychology in when a lot of times when people are going through emotional stress, they want to even inflict more pain. So for my mother, it was a thing of bring it on. What else? I will do it because I loved him enough to do it. I will do it. I will go through it. I mean, I can stand here and say that if I were in her shoes, I wouldn't do that. But honestly, when grief strikes, it becomes hard for one to be able to determine what you would do at that point in time. And that's the reason why I am standing up and advocating for women who are clear-headed at the present moment, to stand up against those things. We should be standing up for the woman who is down emotionally, who is going through a tough time.
When we talk about cultural practices, especially harmful cultural practices that widows go through, most of this conversation is around like, oh, the community elders are doing this. And not normally the narrative is that this person who's a community
Right.
elder is actually a man. But now you talk about your mother coming into the village, and the first thing is the women in the village gathering her and telling her to come to the village center, let them have a court. So it's, what role do women play when it comes to perpetuating these harmful cultural practices that are inflicted on widows? What role do you think they play in this? And as a daughter yourself, how do you think that we can be able to mitigate these kind of acts by the community members, by the elders in the community?
Women play a very important role in upholding the culture of any society. And so it is important that women begin to straighten out their mindset and get it right. with regards to what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. How should a woman be treated? Already, there's a lot of mental, emotional breakdown upon the loss of a partner that has spent years with one. So it's very important that women begin to get clarity as to what also wrong should to anyone who is already grieving, already going through a trauma, to be further traumatized by the women in the society. So women play a very, very important role, and it is high time we got women talking about these things and addressing the wrongs that are happening in our local communities.